Welcome to Late Night with BS3, episode number 9. Tonight we got a great show. We got a sports roundtable with Michael Riddim McPherson, DeAnthony Thompson, and Overton Claiborne. He has a podcast called Talking with OC. We'll be talking about the NBA Finals, NFL games, college football, Major League Baseball playoffs, and more. Shout out to Miss Mocabella. I know you're happy. The Heat have extended this playoffs. Also, let me give a shout out to everybody on Facebook and people over on YouTube. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. We got a great show planned, and tonight's show is sponsored by motivational speaker Jay Hunter. He's been on the show numerous times. He is a motivational speaker. He's inspirational. He's also training people as well, but he is training athletes and organizations to be their best to achieve greatness. So you can book him. The information will be down at the bottom of the screen, the entire show, but his name is Jay Hunter. The phone number 866-316-0267, extension 200. And he is the man. He is definitely the man. So we got college football going on right now. We had the NBA Finals last night. We'll be going into game 6 tomorrow. So we'll be doing a recap. You've been seeing a lot of me lately and a lot of the BS3 radio family because we've been doing quite a few recap shows. Let me welcome in my people over on the Spreaker side because we're live on Spreaker.com. We're live on Facebook and we're live on YouTube. So we're streaming on 3 separate platforms. So shout out to my Spreaker family. Thank you all for tuning in. Late Night with BS3, episode 9. We got a great show tonight with great guests. Like I said, Michael McPherson, DeAnthony Thompson, Overton Claiborne. We'll be talking about NBA Finals, NFL games coming up, college football, and MLB playoffs. So we got great fun to get to. Before we go any further, congratulations to the Seattle Storm. They won the WNBA championship this week. Big shout out to them. And definitely, yes, Mocha, Heat Nation. Heat Nation, if you are not excited about these playoffs, first of all, what's wrong with you? And then second of all, this has been extremely entertaining. And it just shows the fortitude and the grit of Miami. Shout out to Walter Strong. I was on his show earlier today. Make sure to go check that out. Put the link in the comments, Walter Strong III on YouTube. So, man, I'm so excited about these NBA Finals. Shout out to H-Rap B. Lakers win easily tomorrow, he says. Woo, okay. Okay, easily, he says. I do think the Lakers are going to bounce back. I won't be surprised if it's a win. I'm not going to say it's a blowout, but the Lakers are going to respond when it comes to coming off of a loss. So let's go to the college football scoreboard. We had a crazy game. It was Texas OU weekend. And not only was this an entertaining game, but the game went to 4 overtimes. That's crazy. But that always ends up being a great game. Always. Shout out to Taryn Rodriguez. Thank you for tuning in. He said, I'll be going back and forth with your show and another IU Sports radio show. I appreciate that. But make sure to check out Taryn Rodriguez on his show, which is Set Point. It's on IU Sports Radio. And check out all the other shows on IU Sports Radio. I love what they do. They have great shows, great content. Let's see. Yes, sir. LeBron can't do anything the easy way. It's in his DNA. Walter Strong put the link on Facebook so you can see that. I like that, Brian. Lakers will win tomorrow, says Taryn. And like I said, let's get to the college scoreboard. OU wins in a crazy game. It was so much scoring. It was 22 points that Oklahoma scored in overtime alone. Oklahoma wins 53-43. Sam Ehlinger, 287, 2 touchdowns. And Sam Ehlinger is that kid. You know, I got to give him his props. But Texas just hasn't been the same team in quite a while. Now, they did beat OU during the time that Charlie Strong was there, but they have struggled. Spencer Rattler had 3 touchdowns. TJ Pedger had 101 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. But this is always an entertaining game. It's never a dull moment when it comes to Texas OU. It's played at the Cotton Bowl, which is normally, you know, during the time of the Texas State Fair, but obviously not having a Texas State Fair this year because of everything that's been going on. So it's quite an interesting moment because normally you have a huge, you know, slate of fans. You know, normally you have a lot going on, and you're just not going to get that this year. It's not going to happen. So you have to, you know, adjust if you're a fan. If you're someone that likes watching sports, you got to adjust. You're not going to get sports the way you normally get it. So we'll have our guests coming on in about 7 minutes as we're talking right now on Spreaker.com, on Facebook, also on YouTube. Like I said, you can check us out on all of those platforms. Also, make sure to give us a thumbs up on wherever you're watching. Also, leave us a comment and subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. Continuing to help build the YouTube presence. All right, so let's look at some other games. LSU got upset. Again, this is not the same LSU team. I've said this before. I'll say it again. They lose to Missouri. Iowa State beats Texas Tech. BYU beats University of Texas San Antonio. I believe that's UTSA. And college football is now starting to heat up. It's now starting to heat up. This is when it starts getting interesting. This is when it starts to get even more entertaining. Texas A&M upset over Florida. This was a big win. We'll definitely be talking about college football when the guests come on. Georgia beats Tennessee. And a crazy stat that somebody pointed out in this Tennessee game, Tennessee had -1 rushing yards. And that was mainly on negative yardage by Jarrett Garantino of Tennessee. Tennessee is 2-1. Georgia's 3-0, so they're going to be moving up in the standings. So that's going to make things interesting. But Tennessee hasn't been the same team in a while. Notre Dame's on right now with Florida State. Florida State's not going in the right direction. They're losing 42-26. And then we got a tie game. I got that one on in the background. 35-35. Bama and Ole Miss. That's an interesting game right there. And then shout out to my North Carolina Tar Heels. They get a big win, 56-45 over Virginia Tech. They're now 3-0. Count it. 3-0. That's my boys. Anybody that knows me, I ride or die for my Tar Heels. Doesn't matter what sport it is. Doesn't matter to what level. I'm watching North Carolina sports regardless. So interesting, especially with North Carolina going 3-0. This is kind of a rarity. This is not normally their sport. Alabama goes up 42-35 And then Clemson. Clemson is up 28-10 on Miami. Now, it's not over yet. You still got time. Anything can happen. So they still got time, but they're going to have to score. So it's college football time, man. This is and then you got NFL tomorrow. We'll be touching on those games as well. So other news around the week in sports, we have the ALS and NLS is now set. Tampa Bay will be going up against Houston, and then Atlanta will be going up against LA. So two of those four teams will be in the World Series. To be honest, I'm not fully paying attention to Major League Baseball right now. It's hard for me to pay attention to Major League Baseball right now because you have the NBA Finals going on. You have the NFL going on. So this is probably the weirdest possible time we could have, sports going on because we got so much going on at the same time that that's not on my radar. It's just not on my radar. Now, when the World Series comes, I'll probably pay a lot more attention to it. I'm just being straight up honest because there's so much other things to watch. There's so many other sports to watch. And this is, honestly, if there was one to go on the back burner, it would be Major League Baseball for me. So COVID-19 still rearing its ugly head in the NFL. 2 Titans test positive. Stephon Gilmore test positive. Cam Newton was the big one last week. So we just continue to have these issues. Now, if the NFL went into a bubble top atmosphere, maybe things would change, but that's extremely hard to do. You see Major League Baseball went into the bubble format. They're all playing in the same place. They're all playing here in Arlington. So, if you're a sports fan, you want it to be safe. Number one, you want it to be safe. You don't want it to affect your sports, but it's a real thing. And honestly, it's a real thing that's been going on for obviously quite a while. So we'll see what happens when it comes to the NFL, but they've already had to reschedule games. They have a game scheduled they have 2 for Monday. Then they have another one on Tuesday. And this has been a while that a game's been scheduled on Tuesday. I need to change out my headphones. I'm sure you guys can still hear me, but it's interesting. And then you have the Lions and the Packers that have a bye. But the NFL, I'm sure that they're doing their best, but obviously you're going to still have issues. You're going to still have concerns. And, nothing's going to be perfect when it comes to the NFL because you have, so many opportunities and possibilities for players to get this virus. Walter Strong says, I agreed. I will probably watch the World Series as well. Yeah, that's probably all that I'm going to watch when it comes to Major League Baseball this year. As much as I want to. Shout out to my man, the greatest, and Mucabello over on the Spreaker side. Thank you guys for tuning in. Cowboy up, showing love before I go on. Appreciate that. The great. Cowboys need a win tomorrow just for a confidence booster, man. We need a win for a confidence booster. We cannot get a loss tomorrow, especially against the New York Football Giants. We can't do it. That's not something we can do. That's something that we cannot put ourselves in that position and lose a game against the New York Football Giants. It can't happen. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. We got a great slate of games. NFL starting to heat up. Sunday Night Football, we got Vikings, Seahawks. It's not that exciting of a game, if you ask me. You could have moved a game to that time slot. Maybe you do Raiders, Chiefs. That may have been a good one. Giants and Cowboys play at 3:25 Eastern. I am predicting a Cowboys win. I don't think there's any way that they should lose. I don't think any way at all that they should lose this game. But it's the Cowboys, though. It's the Cowboys. And the Cowboys are always going to make another team great. They're going to make another team, the other team, look great. So we'll see what happens when it comes to the Cowboys tomorrow. Shout out to Jay Ron. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you for checking in with us late night with BS3. Jimmy G. Jimmy G is returning tomorrow versus the Dolphins. We'll see what him coming back does. Looking forward to seeing what the 49ers are going to do. And them being able to have Jimmy G back, I think is going to be major. Cowboys are not the team everyone thought they were. You're right about that. Shout out to my man Neil, Story to Tell. He has a YouTube channel, Neil Story to Tell. You can find that on YouTube. He does a segment on Fridays called Make It Make Sense, which is hilarious. He coined a term. You'll have to go watch it. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but he coined a term that I think I'm going to use from now on. And he's killing. He's killing it in the YouTube game. So make sure to go check out Neil's Story to Tell. Put the link right there on YouTube while you're here right now. But Cowboys got to bounce back. Also, crazy story. Kyle Allen will start at quarterback against the Rams, and Alex Smith is going to serve as the backup. And they've demoted my guy. They demoted Haskins to third string. And I'm like, wow, you demote this kid all the way to third string? That was shocking. That shocked me right there. That really caught me off guard there, because Haskins is not a bad quarterback. He's still learning, he's still developing. But I think you have to be fair in giving these young quarterbacks enough time. You can't just expect them to come in and be superstar quarterbacks right out the gate. So I think that's unfair treatment, in my opinion. And I think he needs more time. I don't think right now is the right time to just pull the plug on this guy. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Washington football team. I don't know if I said the R word, but the Washington football team. But we have interesting slate of games, like I said, coming up. Let's go through some of these games. Panthers, Falcons playing in Atlanta. I'm predicting that the Falcons are going to blow a 20-point lead. I'm predicting that's going to happen. that should be a game that is probably not going to go well for the Falcons. Huge struggle, over these past couple of years that they've had to go through, and I don't know when or if it's going to get any better. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers is a great example of taking time to mature QB. I agree with you there. Aaron Rodgers got a couple of years behind Favre. Favre was playing great, but brought Aaron in, and he was reluctant to do that. If you remember, Favre wasn't very excited in, training and, bringing in Aaron Rodgers and being, excited about bringing him on. Trying to get the guests on right now. But Aaron Rodgers also has Jordan Love there right now. And and Jordan Love was drafted there obviously for a reason. Now, I don't know how much of that reason is gonna allow him to get, the starting job. ATL is choking. Yeah, they are choking, and they continue to choke. That's a continuous punchline for Atlanta, which I would hate to be a Falcons fan. I would really honestly hate to be a Falcons fan because the amount of leads that they blow and how they blow those leads is depressing. Like it's depressing to lose games like that. Now, I can't truly talk because I'm a Cowboys fan. And Cowboys, we struggle. I know we're so high and we get so excited, about our team. But there's always a struggle. There's always a struggle with these Cowboys. There's always some type of comeback that we're having trying to go through. Always something that we're having to overcome because it's so difficult. So difficult for us to get wins. And we just struggle, man. We struggle too much. But, it is what it is when it comes to the Cowboys. All right, we got Overton, Claiborne. I'm about to bring on one of our guests on. We should have two other guys coming on with us. So we will hopefully get them on here soon. But what's up, Overton?
What's up, man? I'm just sitting up here chilling.
Good. I see you. You got the security on. You got the Garda.
Oh yeah. I'm getting it all ways tonight. I got to work, so I'm just trying to offer some good opinions on this game we got.
Awesome. Cool. So first off, talk about your show, which is Talking with AC. Talk about the show, how you got started. What are some of the topics that you talk about?
It's Talking with OC.
OC, excuse me.
No, it's cool because it's run together. It's Talking with OC, and it's a lot of organic conversation between people, just anybody. I have conversations with everybody, but I got this little special going on right now about my neighborhood I grew up in and some of the guys that came out of there and they stories. It's been real good. A couple of rap artists. It's been real good. So it's called Talking with OC, and it's on anchor.fm/Overton Claiborne or Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, the big things.
Right. Yeah, I'm from the Bay Area myself. I don't know. I hadn't told you that yet, but I grew up in Richmond. I grew up in Berkeley and Emeryville.
Okay.
So yeah.
I'm from Vallejo.
Okay. Yeah, my parents lived there for a little while too. So
Yeah,
yeah, I know the whereabouts of where you at.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Nice.
that's
Nice.
that's basically what I'm doing right now with that.
Cool. So, we had a lot of college football games on today. Texas OU, which went into 4 overtimes, which was a crazy game. We got Bama and Ole Miss on right now, and then
Yeah.
also we got Miami and Clemson on. What's been your thoughts on these games for today?
I think that a lot of these games, I didn't really get a chance to watch too much of college football today, but I touched a little bit on college football. It's crazy to me how they can be playing, and we got this pandemic. But I mean, I think that the talent is still good. I think people. It's still a nice product that they're putting out there on the field and for us to watch. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to really watch a lot of the college football today. I've been working, so
Yeah, no problem. I hear you. Let's talk about, man, these finals, man. Jimmy
yeah,
last night. We got to stop calling him just Jimmy. I know we call him Jimmy Buckets, but the
yeah.
way he played last night, man, was just
Jimmy,
crazy. He really put the team on his back, playing 47 minutes too. But give me your thoughts on these finals.
I think it's a great finals. I think at first Miami took a punch from LA, and they had to figure out how they was going to play them. Coach Spoelstra is a master at coming up with things, like Pat Riley coming up with things to come to match that bigger Goliath opponent, and it's just been a good series to watch. You know, with these heavyweights, Jimmy Butler, like you was just saying, Jimmy Butler, he put him on his back last night. Even though a lot of the players for the Lakers stepped up that I didn't think would step up. Caldwell Pope, man, he put him on their back, on his back, and then they rode him. And I like how they matched LA's energy. They matched their energy, and ultimately they came out the victor.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the questions that I had is, is Jimmy a number one? Which I think last night to me and this year kind of solidified it. But I want to get your thoughts. Is he a number one, a number two?
I think they need another piece, but I think Jimmy is a number one because Jimmy leads. He leads, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not that often you get somebody on a team that can just really lead by their play and how they talk the game. When you go to when somebody said it when he went to Miami, he was around a lot of other dogs, and his play and how he is what Miami is all about. And so Jimmy is a number one. He's emerged as a number one.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. And I think just putting it all out there, being a leader on the court, not just being a good player, but able to kind of take your players along with you,
Mm-hmm.
and, get you to a point where you can win. And
Yeah.
he's doing this without Dragic. He's doing this. Bam had 13 the last game. So Bam I don't think he's fully been back. And you're doing this with a bunch of young kids in Hero and Duncan Robinson. So there's a lot of props, that Jimmy deserves, and he's kind of got a bad rap, but I think he just wants to win. And I think people got to understand there's certain players that want to win at all costs, and there's certain players that are just okay with not winning, and that's just the truth.
Yeah, they those young players that they got in Miami, they have a lot of swag, and they're not scared of the moment. And so Duncan Robinson and that other kid that you just mentioned, Hero. They are lights out. They are lights out, and I also like that Nun kid, K Nun.
Kendrick Nunn, yeah,
I like these young players because they what they bring to it. They it's sort of like a they haven't been there before, so they're not really phased by the lights. They're not really scared of the moment.
True.
You know?
Yeah, they're ready to put it all in there, and they don't have anything to lose. It's not like they're like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen, so I'm gonna be nervous about it. They just go balls to the wall. Tracy Porter dropped a comment. I'm surprised that Rondo wasn't in the game late in the fourth quarter. That's a good point. I mean, you got Morris in there.
Mm-hmm.
With Morris made a bonehead play at the end of the game. It's not all blamed on him, but if you're trying to win this championship, you gotta make the key plays at the end. And then you have Danny Green. Danny Green's been getting roasted. He's been getting roasted today.
Get off Green. Green didn't hit some big shots, but last night it just wasn't in the cards for him to hit that big shot. And I just don't like the when they put Morris in, they kept Morris in the game. I didn't like that either. I was like, why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? So, if I was a coach, I would have had to go with who got us here. I would have had to go with that. I wouldn't have put him in there. Rondo, I like Rondo. Rondo got that mentality. He got that IQ, that basketball IQ that would have, I think that would have got them a good shot. A better shot.
I agree. Yeah, and I think having Rondo in the game late, because Rondo's the orchestrator. Rondo's that guy that's going to facilitate. He's going to get the ball to the right guy in the right spot, in the right position. And Rondo kind of wasn't on last night either. And then AD with the injuries, which it seems like every game AD has some type. I don't know if it's me, but it seems like every single game he got some type of injury. You get hobbled by.
Yeah. I think AD. He's getting there. He's getting to be that soft spot. He's good. He's great. He's a great player. But you got to be. This is the finals. You got to lock in. You can't care about that. I like. Speaking of that, I like Dwight Howard. I like his tenacity.
Yes.
I like what he brings to that team. In that role too, he really mixes it up with those other players and gets them fired up. And I think that's good because LA can they can get more in transition. They can get more because they whoops the Heat in transition. They whoops the Heat in transition. So, man, I don't know about I don't like that softness I was seeing last night, kind of from AD a little bit. And nobody gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Duncan Robinson had 7 threes the last game. He was big.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. We got some other comments here. Morris messed up that bad pass. He should have passed it back to LeBron or Green. I think he just got overexcited. You trying to get the ball into 80. The ball was just too high. 80 kind of turned around like who was you passing the ball to? But they got another chance. They got another chance tomorrow night. Do you have them closing it out tomorrow night? Or you got to go in 7.
It depends on the energy of the game. I'm looking at the energy of the game because Miami's energy overtook this last game, and it gave them the energy to win the game. But if LA wants a chance to win this championship, they got to do it tomorrow. They got to do it tomorrow. They don't, then if it goes to game 7, they better look out because Miami just ain't having it. Miami is not having it.
No, not at all.
But to answer your question, honestly, I think that the LA closes it out tomorrow.
Yeah, they better because if you don't, game 7 it's an even playing field now, and you can't run into a game 7, like half-heartedly and just expect it to work out. Let me see. Oh, go ahead.
I think James needs to be more if it can happen, more aggressive. I seen him. He scored. Did he score 40 this last game?
Yeah. He scored 40.
But also he has to set the tone a little bit more for the other guys. I think. You know what I'm saying? Because Butler played almost 48 minutes. He played 46 minutes. You need a break.
Right. That's true. I think LeBron, and we talked about this on the post game show we did. LeBron's not the typical guy to take the last shot unless it's in a perfect position. He's going to make the best pass. He made that pass to Danny Green. Danny Green just could not hit the shot. But he was playing bully ball pretty much the rest of the game. He was going straight to the hole. Now, this particular instance, that last play of the game, it was like 5 people in the hole. So it was like no way he had nothing to do. So he had to kick it out. I don't know if I've ever seen that many people crowd up on LeBron, but they did exactly what they had to do to get that stop. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely a lot depending on AD this next game, which from what I heard, he should be good. The ankle should not be too major.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Achilles. I'm glad it's not that Achilles.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. When I seen him grabbing it, I'm like, okay, this dude just tore his Achilles in Game 5 of the finals. Like, it doesn't get any worse than that. When you're trying to win big, but it doesn't look like it was his Achilles. So hopefully he'll be ready to go. I would love to see Dragic come back, which he was on the sideline. Mm-hmm. So if Dragic can somehow come back, this series is about to get real.
Because that's their playmaker.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me add in DeAndre Thompson. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, brothers? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. We got
because I can't hear you, but it's a little low.
Okay.
Can you hear me? It should be better. Okay, there we go. What's up, brothers?
We got DeAnthony Thompson, we got OC. If you guys got to dip out or whatever, just let me know, y'all, because we could be going for the show's going for 2 hours. So if you got to dip out, just let me know.
2 hours. Let's get it.
Let me give a quick shout out to Big Illinois. He's on in the Spreaker chat room. Also, J-Ron talking about his NFL picks, which we'll get to that in a minute. But DeAnthony, since I got you on, what's your thoughts on the finals? We were just talking about that Game 5 from last night. Crazy back and forth in the ending, the way it went.
I'll admit I didn't watch a lot of yesterday, but I'll say this: the series was going exactly like I said. I remember the show we did. I think before the series started, we did a show and we were kind of going over our picks. I put I put LA in 6. To me, it's going that route. LA, not LA, but the Heat, man. Jimmy Butler, man, that heart is, I haven't seen this much heart. I don't know when. I've never seen a player have this much, because I think his heart is even greater than his talent. And I give so much credit to this Heat team, man. I think the Lakers are the better team. They got, of course, the better players. But to me, this series says a lot about the Heat and the Heat culture. And we got to tip our hat, man. This is a series that some probably thought would be over in 5. Some maybe thought it was sweet. But for them to get knocked down, get back off the mat, that says a lot to the Heat and to their leadership. And that's straight up Jimmy Butler, along with the other guys. But I think, to me, he is the heart of that team from a leadership standpoint.
Yeah, Jimmy was huge last night. We just talked about it. At 40, had a triple-double. You could just see the guy was exhausted. Like, if that was me on the court, I probably would have passed out. I probably would have literally fell out, like, need an IV. I need a cart. I need a wheelchair. Like, I would have been – but one interesting thing they said about Jimmy is that, I don't know if it was last offseason, but he like rented an apartment without a TV, without cable, and all he did was work the entire summer or whatever that time period was. But Jimmy's a dog, man. He wants to win this, I think, more than LeBron and AD want to win it at this point. I think he wants to win it more than they do. But it's going to come down to I think the Lakers bench, because the last game the Lakers bench had 14 or 13. And Kendrick Nunn had 14 alone by himself. So, you got to factor that in.
Yeah. And just a real quick point. I think, to me, I haven't seen a player that had this much heart. Like, this reminds me of AI, man. You remember when AI went against the Lakers? They had the better team, but he left it on the line. Like, I think we got to give Jimmy Butler his flowers, man. So I just wanted to interject that really, really quick.
Yeah, definitely. We can't just say this was a mistake by the Lakers. This was Jimmy Butler 100%. And everything that he put in, getting his teammates involved was major. And then Duncan Robinson with the threes, that was huge, the last game.
Yep.
So D, I know you're the resident high school and college football. Texas OU, man. 4 overtimes.
This was To me, this was probably one of the wildest. This I was telling my family, this game is always wild. You're gonna get some wacky weird plays, some big plays, a lot of points usually. But I want to start with this, man. I give Sam Ehlinger. I've been on the Sam Ehlinger bandwagon. He's not gonna throw for 300-400 yards, but I like his effort. I like his guts. I like his ability to win and run the ball. I told you this in the text messages, and it's fascinating to see. But I think it's Tom Herman on the hot seat. That's a question that we have to ask. I thought it was a big win by Oklahoma. I'm gonna tell you something. I think when Spencer Rattler got hurt, I think in the second quarter, I think it humbled him. I seen something within him when he came back. I think he noticed that this is, no matter if you're a 5-star recruit or not, this game can be taken from you quick. He came back fired up, and he looked like he was on target. This was a bad win by Texas. I think whenever you're going against a freshman quarterback with a senior quarterback, you expect to win. This is a bad win on Texas, but kudos to OU as well.
Yeah, OU with a big win, and I think when I turned it on and I seen Spencer Rattler wasn't playing, I was like, who is this kid that's playing right now? But then Rattler coming back in, I was like, so did he get pulled? Was he injured, or what happened? But it's always going to be a great series. Always a great game, no matter what.
Yeah. That's pretty much what I got on that.
Yeah. Shout out to Clemson. Clemson, Miami is on right now, 35-10. Now we said this was going to be the test for Miami, and is the U back has always been the question. But the answer to that question as of right now is no, because you're playing Clemson. Trevor Lawson, you can't. They're not at the level to beat that team yet. It's just plain and simple. So, we'll see what happens with Miami going forward. They could still have a good season. It's not completely over for them.
Oh yeah,
but losing this game, especially against this big of talent, I think could possibly hurt your confidence, and definitely going to hurt your standings, because you know how this college football standing is going to go, and you got Big Ten coming back. You got a lot going on, so it's not going to be an easy, I think to get back from this type of loss.
Yeah, and I know the other generation probably got something to say, but I think it was kind of inappropriate for us. People say, "Oh, they back," and saying back meaning can they win a championship? That's really fast, man. I think if they can get to 9 to 10 wins, to me, that's a successful year for Miami. They're not ready for no championship, man. I mean, we shouldn't expect that yet. I think the thing we want to see with Miami is you guys going towards that old regime, which was recruit.
I think we might have lost DeAnthony there, but I think definitely recruiting is a big thing when it comes to college football, period. But especially when it comes to these Florida teams, the Miamis of the world, the Florida States of the world, the Floridas of the world, all of those are, important. Bama's up 49-42 on Ole Miss. Look like they're getting ready to kick a field goal. But I got to give it to Ole Miss, man. They've been hanging with the big boys as far as Alabama goes. That's not easy to do at all, especially in the SEC. But SEC talent is, I think, above other conferences.
Alabama. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm sitting here looking at some stats on as you're talking about them, and I'm like, wow, they have been hanging with some big dogs.
Yeah, definitely. So I got to ask you. We'll wait for DeAnthony to come back in a minute, and then we'll have Michael should be coming on. But have you been watching the Major League Baseball playoffs? I know I haven't. To me, it's too much sports going on. My brain's kind of got overload. But you been paying attention to it?
Not really, because it's like that's kind of baseball is kind of back on the back burner for me when I'm dealing with when you got football and basketball on at the same time. I don't even tell you the truth. I don't even know who is playing for the in the playoffs. Tell you the truth, I don't even know, man. I didn't even look at that.
Yeah, I had to pull it up really myself just to see, who's playing, because Major League Baseball that's gonna be on the back burner for me. But right now they have Tampa Bay is gonna be playing Houston. Houston somehow, with their cheating selves, somehow made it back to the ALCS, and then you got the Dodgers and the Braves. I would love to see Braves, Tampa Bay, but LA. I want the Dodgers to win the championship before Kershaw retires, just because, man, they've been striving so hard at this.
Yeah,
like they gotta get one, and then they added Mookie Betts onto the team. Also, I like the coach and Roberts, so I think it would be good to see LA at least get one, during this time.
Yeah, they look like they handled the Padres last game 12-3. Are they? I'm trying to see if they're up in that series 3-0. They win that series.
Yep, they won that series, so they're already moving forward. They'll be playing Atlanta. It'll be coming up. I think game 1 is tomorrow, and then Tampa Bay and Houston.
I'm gonna pay more attention to it because I do like baseball, and I've had a couple of family members play. So I'm gonna pay a little bit more attention to that this week.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna pay more attention when it gets to the World Series. Right now, I'm not paying much attention, but when the World Series come, I'm probably gonna watch every single game. Yeah, and it's gonna be more entertaining because it's all the marbles and all the chips on the table and everything. So
and we'll have a winner by that time. We'll have a winner of this NBA championship. So you have some more sports to watch.
Definitely. So, what's your football team? I know you're in California. So is it the Raiders? Is it the 49ers?
This is funny. This is gonna be funny. I'm a Baltimore Raven fan.
Okay, you got to tell the story how that happened.
Baltimore Raven fan. When you remember John Madden when everybody used to get together and play the game. Well, me and my friends used to get together and play the game, and that's the team that I picked when they moved from Baltimore when they moved from Cleveland to Baltimore. That's the team that I picked and the team that I liked, and I just stuck with the Baltimore Ravens. I mean,
Ray Lewis, Jamal Lewis,
yeah,
championships. I mean, I get it. I get it.
Came back and played with us. Shay, what's his name? From the Broncos came and played with us. Yeah,
Shannon Sharp. Shay Sharp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's been a great ride with them. That's been my team, and I got a chance to see that Monday night game when they played last year in LA when they beat the Rams in LA. I went to that game.
I remember that game. That's the game. Lamar played pretty good that game.
Yes, he did, and to see it up close. Him be able to put that second gear, bring that second gear out when he was running. That's crazy. Man, that's crazy how he just made the miss. It was nice.
I remember that game.
Man. That's Vic 2.0. He's the closest person I've seen to Vic, except he's right-handed. That's all he did.
Yeah, but I think he's more accurate. He's a more accurate passer than Vic was.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
At this point in his career, but yeah.
Can he get over the hump? Can the Ravens get over the hump this year?
Let me. Hey, when him saying that made me think about something. Can he throw the ball down the field better than Vic or as good as Vic? The vertical game.
I think he's still working on that. Okay. I think he's still working on that because Vic, you when he did it, it was he. I think Vic was more accurate as a deep passer, but as an intermediate passer, I think that Lamar got that down, but he's still working on. Look like he's still working on that part of his game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the speed is sort of the same because Vic used to do things that no one could do.
Nobody, not Randall Cunningham. I mean, he would run that. Okay, this one play I remember still vividly was Atlanta. I think it was Atlanta and the Vikings. And that play he ran like 50 yards. Everybody was just diving at him. Nobody could catch him. That's the truth with Vic, man. Vic had wheels like none other. And when he threw the ball, it was gone. When that left his hand, it was gone. Nobody was catching it except that wide receiver or somebody in the stands. That's just how his length of throws, was crazy. Let me see. We got a comment from Walter Strong. He says Lamar is a work in progress. However, the potential is there. Yeah, the potential's been there, since Louisville. Now with him coming and going forward, I think that's been major. But DeAnthony, you were saying something about Miami before you got cut off.
Yeah, it was on my internet. I mean, the connection got cut off. But I was just saying we shouldn't expect them to be as good as Clemson, because Clemson is obviously the number one team. They've been having top, 3 or 4 or 5 recruiting classes the last 4 or 5 years. I just wanted to see where they back. And to me, you say, okay, what does that mean? To me, that means, can you keep it a little close against Clemson? You might lose, but can it be within 10, 13 points? I think the last score, I'm watching this Alabama game, but I think you told me they were getting beat pretty bad. So to me, that's not a good sign. You want to be able to kind of stay with these guys, but it's a work in progress, man. King, they need to get a quarterback. King was a transfer in, very short guy, can't really see over the line. To me, I want to see, can they build on this year if they finish this year with about 9 or 10 losses.
Yeah, it'll be important, for them to be able to get 9 or 10 wins. I think that'll be major for the confidence and for the long-term success for them if they can do that. But if they end up getting 6, if they end up getting 5, that's because they only got De'Aaron King, I believe, for 1 year, right? And I think after this,
they only got him for a year.
So you got to, recruiting wise, when it comes to LA, to Miami and to Florida, you got to get the recruits in. That's the only thing I think that's going to really propel them, to the next level, especially at the quarterback position. Yeah,
that's a fact. You got to recruit. You got to recruit all over. Get some of that homegrown talent. But a lot of people don't know, when you go back to the Ed Reeds of the world, Reggie Wayne, those guys are from Louisiana. So you got to get that U back to the point where you can recruit Miami, Florida area, and go out and get 1 or 2 studs from out of state. I think Ken Dorsey, the great quarterback for them, I think Ken Dorsey was from out of state. So, when you talk about the Miami team, they're not back yet. The answer is they're not back. But hopefully they can keep improving.
The answer for right now is no. But it's a possibility that they can get back there. So it's 49-45, Bama over Ole Miss. Ole Miss has
been. That's the game I was looking at.
Ole Miss has been running with these boys, but Bama's. I like the running back Najee Harris, but I think the quarterback is not the same. It's not Tua. It is Mac Jones. He's been there for a while, but the talent, I don't think the talent matches up with Tua, and I think that's what we've been seeing, in these past couple games here.
And I think they're pretty young. I mean, they lost so much talent last year, man. The 2 stud receivers. They got this linebacker though. That kid, I think he's a true freshman starting at linebacker who looks good. They're kind of young. They're still probably 1 and 2. Them and Clemson. Look like Miami just scored too, 35-16.
Okay, yeah, they're trying to make that comeback, trying to make a game of it. Which I agree. You want to at least make this competitive so that you can put your team on the board and give your team some momentum. But playing Clemson, especially Trevor Lawson, Etienne, he's got 138 yards right now, 2 touchdowns. Miami's gonna have to continue building. Let's do some NFL pick'em since we got both of you guys on right now. But before I do that, I think you answered this question already, DeAnthony. But is Jimmy Butler a number 1? I think you did say 1. He is, as we were kind of discussing, via text. But this last game, Jimmy showed me something that I haven't seen in a while in a player. I'm putting it all out there for 47 minutes. But does that solidify that number 1 spot?
Man, I think this is a great question. I feel like I asked you this twice, one on a call and then once in text. The thing is, man, I think the reason I wasn't sold on Jimmy Butler being a 1 is because he doesn't have Kevin Durant talent. He doesn't have Giannis Antetokounmpo talent. Meaning every game it's a good chance he's gonna go for 35 and 10. That's not Jimmy. So I was equating that to one, but I told you this. I said the reason I think he is a one because of heart. He has the heart, man. I think his heart even more than his talent. And Jimmy Butler's a good guy. He's a 20-point per game type of guy in this league. But I think it's his heart plus his talent. Those other guys, they got a lot of talent. Some people question their heart. You know, I ain't gonna say no names, but he has the heart, and I think it's his heart that makes him a one. He reminds me of those 90 players. I'm pretty young, so I can't just act like I was around in the 90s in a sense. But you know, the tough, hard-nosed players. Jimmy Butler is a guy that I could see playing, you know, in 91 or 88 or 87. He's that old school type of player, and I think that's what makes him a number one, even over his talent, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's that heart, man. You can't quantify heart. Heart's not gonna be on the stat sheet. Heart's can be something you said. Oh, he had 5 points of heart. You can't see it, but when you put it all out there, you know that's what a real. I think the real passion for the sport comes from. To me, that's a major thing there. So we got Game 6 tomorrow. Give me your prediction, D, for tomorrow.
Tomorrow, boy, I feel like Miami can win tomorrow. But out of respect to LeBron James, I have to pick LA. And that's just respect to the best player in this series. I think he wants this level of respect. He's won some rings. I'm not going to doubt LeBron James in Game 6. I'm going Lakers, and that's just what it is at this point. All due respect to Miami, I'm not doubting King James in a Game 6. I think they're going to treat this like a Game 7. Look out.
Oh, yeah. You cannot let this go 7 games, because if you do, that just gives Miami even more, firepower and even more confidence to get a win. And who knows if you have Dragic coming back. He was on the sideline, so that means he's at least moving better if he's on the sideline. So there's a strong possibility he may get in there. Bama just scored, so they go up. And I just remember this. Ole Miss coach is Lane Kiffin.
Oh yeah,
you remember Lane Kiffin used to coach at Bama.
Oh, Lane
Kiffin got something out for good old Bama. So this should be a reminder. This one should be a good game. But let's get into some NFL pick'em. You guys that are tuning in, whatever streaming platform or however you're watching and tuning in, join in with us. We'll get into a couple of games. Let's get this one out the way first. Cowboys Giants. The rivalry game. Giants, one of those teams that are struggling this year. Deservingly so. You don't have Saquon. You do have a young quarterback. The defense isn't the same. You added a new coach. So you got a new system, and then you added Jason Garrett. Of all coaches that you could have added, you added Jason Garrett, and that's obviously going to be a problem. But I'm going to go with the Cowboys. Cowboys are going to get a bounce back win. They're going to be 2-3. They're playing in Arlington, Texas, so this is a home game. They need a confidence booster, and if there was any possible game that could give them a confidence booster, it would be this game right here. But OC, I'll go with you first.
Yeah, I'm going with the Cowboys. I'm going with the Cowboys for a lot of reasons that you put out there on the table. Everything new in New York, and so I like how the Cowboys, they got a good coach, Mike McCarthy, and they got some good pieces, and their defense look like it's got a gel. So I'm going with the Cowboys.
Okay. Walter Strong says Giants Big Blue. You got to be a Giants fan. That's the only way that you got to be picking the
Giants.
Giants.
A homer. He's a homer. He's a homer, man. I'm gonna tell you like this, man. The Cowboys need to make a statement this game. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're going against the Giants. You know the situation with Saquon. You know the situation with Daniel Jones as far as a young quarterback, second-year quarterback. Go up there and blow this team out not just to blow them out. Well, not go out there, but it's the game down here. But go out there and blow them out so you can give yourself that confidence and say, guys, we are talented and we can run over these teams we're supposed to beat. Because this is the game you're supposed to win. And a lot of times, this is sometimes the hard game. The game you're supposed to win.
Trap games.
Yeah. Yep.
Exactly. Trap games, exactly. And one of my friends, he's a Cowboys fan. He was tuned in. He said the Cowboys always make the other teams look like Super Bowl teams when they play us. So don't be surprised, people out there watching, if Daniel Jones throws for like 300 yards. All I want is a win.
Nah, for real.
This defense has to, like OC said, they have to gel. I know it's a new system, but you can't allow teams to put up points like that on you, and you can't get into a shootout with Russell Wilson.
No.
Any team that tries to get into a shootout with Russell Wilson, you're going to lose, because this guy is too talented and too great of a quarterback to be, in that situation. Mm-hmm. Remember, Dallas is a team that loves to give free points to the visiting team. Yeah, I know. I just said that. Walter, you're right though. And it's just one of these teams that, they got a new coach, they got a new system, they had a ton of injuries, but at some point you got to bounce back and you got to get a win. And this is low hanging fruit right here.
That's right.
Let's go to this next one.
Mm-hmm.
Panthers, Falcons. Falcons 0-4. Panthers 2-2. The struggle that the Falcons continue to have. I'm gonna say Panthers. I think Falcons are gonna go 0-5. That's gonna be horrible for them and any Falcons fans. But I'll go with you, OC.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's one of the picks that I would make is the Falcons not winning, because I just can't put no stock in them. They have disappointed time and time again this season, and you hope that they turn it around. But I think that the Panthers got a better team overall coming out to play this game. So I just can't put no stock in Atlanta.
I don't think anybody can.
Yeah.
That's the sad part.
In the game too much. You can get up 40. They can get up 40 and they're gonna let you back in the game. So.
That's crazy but true. The next one, Raiders versus Chiefs. This one's the 12 o'clock game. Obviously, Chiefs gonna be favored. They're 4-0. Raiders are 2-2. Now the Las Vegas Raiders, which is still hard for me to say that they're in Vegas. But this is going to be a tough win, I think, for the Chiefs, just because the Chiefs got the better defense. Obviously, they got the better offense. But it's a division rivalry game, so they're both going to play hard and physical. But who you have in this one?
Me, I have the Chiefs, but I got to say that if the Raiders can run the football, if they can run the football and keep that Mahomes guy at bay on the sideline a little bit, they got a shot. But other than that, I got to go with the Chiefs, because they just always what Andy Reid is too smart. Their defense is good, and so the Raiders been struggling on offense. So I got to go with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you right there. We lost DeAnthony again, so I'll probably come back here in just a minute. Mm-hmm. But the Chiefs are just too powerful, man. Mahomes I like Josh Jacobs, when you talk about the running game.
Yeah.
But even if he gets his, you're still going to need – Derek Carr is going to have to make some key throws. And has he been able to do that all year long? Not necessarily. But the Chiefs, I think, will be too much. And it's a home game. So there's no way. No way possible.
The mistakes that the Raiders been making too, man, really, really been costing them games.
Yeah. D, we're on Chiefs Raiders. Who you got? Chiefs Raiders.
Hey, I want to hit back on that first game. You said what was that first one with Carolina and
Falcons?
Yeah,
Falcons. Hey, we got to give a lot of respect to Carolina, man. Teddy Bridgewater. To me, I don't know why he doesn't get no respect. I know in New Orleans he didn't throw much, but I just want to stop and say, Teddy, hey, you're leading that team, man. Good luck. I'm pulling for Teddy because I like his story and I like how he looked before he got hurt in Minnesota. So I just wanted to kind of give him that. What game we on now?
We're on, Chiefs and Raiders.
Man,
sorry about that.
I don't see how how the Raiders are going to stop the Chiefs, to be honest. The thing with the Chiefs, as good as they are, sometimes to me, sometimes they're a little iffy in the way that they play. It's like they can even play better than they play. And I think that was like last week they played like that, if I'm not mistaken. But this is a game where it's going to be tough for the Raiders to slow down this attack. They better hope to run the ball and kind of slow it down, because if they're not careful, they probably can get out of hand pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you got to be able to stop them on consecutive drives, and being able to do that is hard because Mahomes can throw it anywhere. They just added Edwards-Helaire, the kid from LSU. Mm-hmm. So I mean, you got too much to stop all at one time. So I think that's pretty much a consensus right there. Now, this next one, Eagles at Steelers, which Eagles are they're sadly above the NFC East with a 1-2-1 record. That's got to be the worst, first round, first place team ever in life. But they're playing in Pittsburgh, and this is a healthy Big Ben. Now I've said this so many times. Big Ben is going to be healthy for part of the season. At some point, he's going to get hurt. I don't wish injuries on nobody, but Big Ben is every single year he gets hurt. He's older. He said he was in the best shape this year, but at some point in time, it's going to happen. So whoever that backup is, Landry Jones or whoever they got in there right now, be prepared. But I'm easily going with the Steelers just because they got the better. Same. I think they got the better defense, and the Eagles they've been struggling. They've been struggling. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So OC, I'll go with you. Who you got?
I got the Steelers too. I like the Steelers because of the core of their team is there. They got that good coach Mike Tomlin, and they got that big quarterback. They got Ben Roethlisberger, who he looked like he'd been taking that TB12. So I think they're gonna pull that one out. But the Eagles just haven't shown me enough. They haven't shown me enough.
Yeah, and we got the resident Eagles fan. My man Courtney says, "Fly Eagles, fly!" Yeah, they about to fly right into a ditch tomorrow. So,
you're right.
Yeah, but DeAnthony, who you got?
Let me say this. I believe in Carson Wentz. I don't know. Call me whatever you will. I believe in Wentz. I think Wentz is a good quarterback. So I say that to say this. The Eagles are so tricky because to me, you never know what you're going to get. This is such a trick. This is a tricky game to me. I know the consensus is Steelers, but I don't know. I got a weird feeling about this one. I'm gonna go. Let's go upset. I'm gonna go upset. I'm gonna go Eagles for the upset. Okay. I don't know if I'm assuming the Steelers are favored since they had a better record, but I'm gonna go upset. I'm gonna go Eagles.
Okay. Courtney said, "Don't sleep on my squad," so he's gonna be happy with that pick because he's a ride or die Eagles fan. He's in Philly, so we'll see what happens. I'm still going Steelers. I think the Steelers are gonna be too much, at the end of the game. This next one I'm gonna bring up mainly because I want to talk about the Washington football team. If you guys heard about the news, but this is Rams, Washington. Kyle Allen is gonna be the starter. So they not only demoted Dwayne Haskins, but they're saying he's the third. He's the third starter, or in third place, even behind Alex Smith. They said Alex Smith is going to be the backup. The dude that had one of the worst leg injuries probably in NFL history is going to be the backup, and they demoted Dwayne Haskins to third string. I don't know if you guys heard about that news, but that really caught me off guard right there.
Yeah, I haven't heard about that.
Go ahead, OC, you got it.
Oh, I was going to say, this is the first I'm hearing about that. That's crazy, and this is in Washington, right? This is what
in Washington. Yep.
Man. It don't look too good for Washington to me. I gotta go with that other team, man. The Rams. The Rams look like they coming together to me. And with all that turmoil that's going on in Washington, I don't see how you can get a win against a good team like the Rams.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What you want to add on that?
Hey, man, look. They the way that they've handled this have been so unprofessional. I said it when the news broke a couple of days ago about that they were going back and forth. I said, you know what, this is getting personal.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever something is get personal, somebody has to go. It's not going to be the coach because he just got there. You wouldn't think it'd be the second year quarterback. I'm going on record saying they may have to trade him because this is personal. This is where I've heard that he was talking about stats after the loss. That rubbed some guys the wrong way. This is a turmoil inside the organization, and I feel bad for Haskins in this sense. When a player, specifically a quarterback, is not drafted into a good situation, it's so easy for things to go wrong easily. But I think we're seeing that with Haskins in Washington. So I don't expect you guys to win. They're in turmoil, and like I said, that's what happens when you have a bad organization. Simple as that.
Yep. Yeah, Washington. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, time and time again, that Washington has always proven that they can't win because of the either the owner or the news that's be surrounding that team. It just they be having some good teams, but you can't get it done because you got the locker room ain't right.
Yeah. They
think about this, y'all. Think about. That's not sorry, Ben. Y'all remember RG3? It was an issue. Or that RG3 was a coach versus him. Come on, that tells me that this is your system is not healthy. That's a whole nother coaching style because that was Shanahan. But still, if the same things are persistent, that tells me something is not right.
That's an organization problem. That's not a Dwayne Haskins problem. That's an organization problem, which it gets overlooked. Unfortunately, it gets overlooked because you think just because you draft a couple good players, then all the problems go away. They're still going to go away. You got a coach, and the other thing, kind of an underlining issue, is Ron Rivera is I don't know if he's battling cancer, he's been through cancer, but he has cancer. So that you got the name change, you got the ownership going through some sexual assault issues. Now you demoting Dwayne Haskins to third string. Like that's so much going on. Like, come on.
They don't want
to. So we'll see what happens with that one. To me, that's gonna be an easy win for the Rams. Let's go ahead and get to your team, OC. It's a division rivalry game. Bengals playing at Ravens. Bengals got their only win against who did they beat somebody this year. I know they tied with the Eagles. But Bengals Ravens. To me, it's going to be I think an easy win. I think for the Ravens, but give us your take on that one, OC.
I think they beat somebody this year.
They beat the Jaguars last week.
The Ravens, they got to play better, man. They got to play better. They haven't been playing like I would like to see them play. A lot of miscues, a lot of things of that nature. But I still think at a division game like this, it's a toss up. A division game is a toss up. It's a trap game because the Bengals gonna come. They know about that rivalry. They're gonna come ready to play regardless who on the field. And I think we win, but you never know. It could go the other way. But I'm picking the Ravens.
Okay. All right. Let's get our last guest on so we can complete the roundtable. Michael, what's going on?
What's going on, guys? What's going on?
How you doing, brother? Peace.
What's going on? We're doing NFL Pick'em right now, so we're going through each of the highlight games. Since I got you on, let me go ahead and get your thoughts. We've been talking NBA playoffs and NFL. So give me your thoughts on the playoffs so far, and also with last night's Game 5.
Oh man, I've been loving the bubble. I love it. The Lakers last night kind of surprised me because I felt LeBron should have. That's where I think he should have been a little bit more selfish. I think in those predicaments, you want to trust your teammate, but you also want to be that person where you're like, yo, I gotta go in head first and get this basket. I know I can draw a foul. I'm 6'9", 250. I can get a foul. So I think last night is one of those things. I think LeBron had to be selfish, and he was being a little bit too unselfish last night. But as far as the playoff, man, I love it, man. We've seen a lot of players like Jamal Murray who just blossomed in front of us. I mean, we all knew he was a good player, but he raised his game a whole nother level. Luka Doncic, another one of those players that we knew was a great talent, but the playoff bubble, that it just showed what these players are capable of. So hopefully next season, man, it will be like just as great as this. I love the bubble. I can't. It was great, but the Lakers to me kind of surprised that it didn't close out. Being a Laker fan myself, but I was kind of surprised that it didn't close out last night.
Yeah. I didn't know. I didn't know you were a Lakers fan, so I know you got to be on the edge of your seat last night.
I was, man. I'm sitting over here and I'm like, all right, I got this. And then I seen Danny Green take a shot, and I'm like, nah, we ain't going nowhere now.
Hey, man, Danny, if there wasn't a better look than that, he had an ocean in front of him. Like, man, he could have stepped back, he could have stepped forward, he could have do whatever. But Danny Green's been struggling, man. He's hit big shots in the past, but I think this bubble specifically has been a struggle for Danny. So who you? I'm gonna ask you this, but I'm pretty sure you can say Lakers. But who you got tomorrow?
I see. Okay, I'm a Laker fan die hard, and a lot of people think it's weird, but I wanted 7 games because I know once the playoffs is over, is it? There's no more basketball. So I'm like, I want as much game as possible, but I think LeBron finally got it in his head that he has to be a little bit selfish. You have to be, and that's where people get the confusion when people say that Mamba mentality, where it's like, listen, get out the way, I'm gonna win this game. So right. I think the Lakers take it tomorrow. I think LeBron get that 4th chip. I think we're celebrating the Lakers win tomorrow. If they don't win, I think Miami might win it if it goes to 7.
That's the same thing I'm thinking. It's kind of a consensus. If it goes to 7, you can't allow Jimmy and these guys to get 7 games because that's going to give them ultra confidence. And I honestly, I think they got the better coach. You know, we hadn't talked about. I think Spoelstra is the better coach than with Vogel. So you got to think about that. Now, since you coming on, I got another question I just thought of. Where do we put LeBron winning his 4th chip? You know, this is a conversation everybody has.
I was just thinking about that.
If he gets his 4th one, where do you put him at? Because the amount of time that it's taking him to get it, you know, is sometimes people talk about that, but four championships is 4 championships regardless.
As far as what, the GOAT title?
The GOAT title, yes.
As much as I love LeBron. I think he's one of the top 5 greatest players. I don't think this puts him at the GOAT. I don't, and the reason why I said it, I think Michael Jordan, to me, it was beyond the game. It's just when you watch Mike play in the 90s, you wanted to grab a basketball and go out and play. You seen him, and you was like, I want to go do this. I can do this. LeBron has never given me that, I want to go hoop. I want to go dunk on you. I want to go stick my tongue out.
Right.
But in this, I don't think this 4th ring, I think if LeBron would have stayed in Cleveland after they won that title with Kyrie and Kevin Love, and if he would have won his 4th ring there, then it might have been a little bit different because you took your team. And to me, when you're going from place to place and you're able to build your team that way, like, hey, you come play with me, I think that takes away a little bit from it when you can stay home and groom your team. Like the Warriors before Kevin Durant jumped on ship, to me, that team was a team because they groomed that team. And the same thing for LeBron. I think when you jump in from ship to ship, it's easier for you to build a team that way. But when you have to go through the grind of staying in Cleveland, I think that would have made his GOAT debate. I don't think you'd be able to question it then, because if you'd have won 4 in Cleveland, you can't question it then. But for you to go from here to here to here, and now you had Wade and Bosh, and now you had Kyrie, so it altered his GOAT. But to me, he's still number 3 for me. Okay. Even if he wins his title, he's still number 3. Michael's 1. I got Kareem at 2, and then I got LeBron.
You got Kobe at 4?
Kobe's 5. I got Magic at 4.
Okay. I respect that, because the thing about having the ranking GOATs is that you got old cats like Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, and then you think about Magic, like you just said. You think about Kareem, the all-time leader in points.
Right.
Like, it's hard. To me, you almost got to do it in errors. But for me, it's MJ. And especially after watching The Last Dance, if anybody watched that, like, just that, I'm gonna hold a grudge against the random 6-man cat. Like the mentality of Jordan to me was, I'm gonna win at any cost.
Right.
Like Mike Tyson, I will eat your kids to win the championship. That was just his mentality, and you gotta respect that in a guy. But Kareem deserves to really be number one, just with everything that he's done, the longevity and all that. So it's a crazy conversation, but to me, that the three, the Jordan, LeBron, and Kobe, I think is probably the most dominant conversation that's normally being had.
Right.
But DeAnthony, give me your thoughts on this.
Hey man, I love this. I love this type of stuff, because you get the intellectual side of basketball when people got their choices and why they got them. I thought the brother made a good point. LeBron moved around a little bit. Only thing I'll say to that, LeBron won with what he had in Cleveland. So he's won with a lot less. Not won the championship, but got there with a lot less. That first team when they went up against the Spurs, I don't think they were that great. But here's the thing with it. I'm gonna be honest, man. LeBron James I rate him above Kobe. I know a lot of people don't want to, he's had, to me, boy, outside of championships, the better statistical career than Kobe. I got LeBron James number 2 all time, man. I really do. I got him number 2 all time. I think we talk about, like, let's say a Magic Johnson. I believe that if you put LeBron back in Magic's day during the 80s, I believe that LeBron could have put those same stats up, if not more. So when I compare those guys, that's what I look at. Could he dominate like Magic? Yes, I believe he could. So, and I think he's a little bit more athletic. So I put him above. I got LeBron number 2, MJ number 1. MJ is the GOAT. Man, for so many reasons: his style, his play, his killer instinct. But I say with that, Kobe was more of a winner than LeBron. But I think LeBron was the overall better player.
Yeah, I think LeBron's overall skills, passing, basketball IQ, he's always looking to get the best shot for the best situation, which a lot of times it's not him. Now, on the other hand, Jordan, I don't see Jordan passing the ball to anybody. He did it a couple times. Steve Kerr, that last championship, I think Paxson hit one, but that's only 2 that I can think of. LeBron, we can think of multiple situations where he's passed the ball to somebody with the last shot in the game, because that was the high percentage shot. So it's going to be a continued conversation.
Let me ask y'all this: how do we compare him and Kobe? Or what do you guys think? Well, I know the other gentleman said he put him Kobe 5th, but how do we? Is it because consensus of the NBA players is a lot of them pick Kobe. I remember they asked even Kawhi that question, but as fans on the sideline, who do we put? Because I put LeBron, but I know it's probably a lot of people that say, heck no. How do y'all on those 2 specifically?
OC, I'll let you answer that one first.
I pick Kobe. I had to err on the side of that because of where I come from. Little background. I seen Michael win 6 in 10. You know what I'm saying? That's a tough thing to do. That's a tough thing to do, to stay in Chicago, that come from bring a team from nothing to winning 6 in one decade, and to do it against those Detroit Pistons and them Boston Celtics and to beat the LA Lakers. That's a goat. That's a goat to me if you ever seen one. Now Kobe, he got that same. He's the closest to Michael you ever gonna see on the court. The closest. He had that dog. He had it all, and he scored 81.
Yeah,
right. True.
So, that's all of that aside. He did it with Shaquille O'Neal 3 times, and then he went and got 2 by himself. I mean, not by himself, but 2 without him with LA. He didn't jump around the league. that takes away from LeBron's that takes away from his mystique, because you could it's easy to go ahead and say, oh, I'm gonna team up with this cat, I'm gonna team up with that one, but that's this era. That's how they can do. And I'm taking nothing away from him. He's still the GOAT of this era. But I gotta go Mike, Kobe, and then the rest fall underneath that.
Yeah.
If we're talking about so you're talking about as far as like skill set, to me, Kobe's the most skilled player I've ever seen. And the most complete all around for me, I go Magic. And the reason why I go Magic, and I'm going back to when I think Kareem had got hurt before the NBA Finals, and for him to take over that NBA Finals and say, look, Kareem ain't here, I'm going to win this. And to come in playing point guard, and now you're playing center.
Yeah.
And to win the championship. To me, that's just like, it's unfathomable to even like think about that. But when the debate comes between Mike, Kobe, and LeBron, I just think, I think when you look at like one-on-one, Mike and Kobe, to me, is like you can go neck and neck as far as just their talent. Like, they're gonna go do whatever it takes to get that win. True. LeBron, to me, he wants to make sure that everybody eats, which is great. It's a team sport. You want to make sure everybody eats. But when it comes down to that wire, I want to see LeBron just have that look in his eyes like, F everybody, I want this. And that's just not him.
Yeah.
And that's where, if we're going to go by that, to me, then I will go Mike, Kobe, Magic, then LeBron, and then Kareem. Because just by that dog, I just feel like that's what Mike and Kobe was. They were dogs, and they were willing to jump through the fire to get that win. LeBron is like, all right, guys, let's come together, kumbaya. Nah, we don't want that. We want you to freaking tear somebody's head off to get that win. So when it comes to that, I think that's where Mike and Kobe differentiate from anybody else. I think no other person would have been in that conversation if he was 6 inches taller was AI. If AI was taller, he had that same mentality, but it was just he was so little, his frame, he was going to give you 30 points a game. But then when on the defensive end, you wasn't going to get that much because it was like, I'm going to beat you up on defense. But on offense, he was a killer.
Right. Great point. AI could have been in that conversation. Also, if we would have gotten any championships, if he had a real team, the dude had Aaron McKee. Aaron McKee. Eric Snow. His best player.
Eric Snow, man.
George Lynch. That was his best player next to him. I think he had Andre Iguodala maybe for one or 2 years towards the end.
Did he have Larry Hughes 1 year?
He did have Larry Hughes, I think, 1 year. But like, come on, like I don't even know if they were really trying to win or not, because with that lineup, now they made it to the championship that one time.
They had Mutombo,
They had Mutombo in the post. Mutombo traditionally is not a low post. When you think of Mutombo, you don't think of him scoring points. Right?
No.
Facts. I say he had a defensive presence.
That's all you think about. So yeah, but I think. A lot of great points that you made, Michael. And I think, too, Kobe stayed with the Lakers no matter what. I remember that one time he came on Stephen A. Smith's radio show. And he was like, I'm leaving. And Stephen A. Smith was like, so you saying you want to leave the Lakers? Even after that, he didn't leave. He wasn't like the mentality of the guys back in the day is that they weren't trying to team up with anybody. It was like whoever's on this team.
They were trying to beat you.
I'm going to win with these guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to coach up these guys. If you remember The Last Dance, you had Michael getting into everybody's face. It didn't matter who it was, Scott Burrell. It didn't matter if it was Steve Kerr. He would fight the last person on the bench if that's what helped the team, gel and get them together.
Let me say this. Do we give Phil Jackson enough credit when it comes to those rings as far as with Kobe and with MJ too? How much do Phil Jackson deserve credit?
You should get a lot of credit.
Yes, he should.
I think he does, but with Michael, I think he gets too much. And the reason why I say he gets too much credit is because people forget that Phil Jackson was a rookie coach. in the NBA when he first joined the Bulls.
Mhm.
Yes, he was coaching in some little league in, I think, Puerto Rico or something like that.
Mhm.
But he was a rookie coach when he came into the league. So him, Mike, and Pippen, they were all puppies. So to me, it's more they grew together. And I think it was one of those things where you had the right pieces in the right places. And I think it's a more equal than anything. I think that to me is way more equal. Now with Kobe, I felt Phil already had it developed. Like, okay, I already went through this with Mike. I can see the same thing in you. So it's a lot more easier now with Kobe because he knew, it's the same thing I went through with Michael Jordan in the 90s. I know who Kobe is. He's just like MJ. I can do that. So with the Bulls, I think he get a little too much credit. I think it should be more even. But with the Lakers, he deserved a little bit more because he knew the mentality of Kobe after having to coach Jordan.
Right. That's a good point.
A great point.
And I think we got in them Laker teams, I think a lot of times we say Kobe won, but when you look back and you see Paul Gasol, Lamar Odom, some of those teams were stacked, but not in your traditional way. You might like think, oh, those guys don't sound like names, but he has a good team around him. So I think sometimes he gets so much credit. For instance, that Boston series. I mean, when you have those pieces around him, they're not stars, but to me, that team was built in such a gritty way that Lakers team need to get a lot of credit. But you usually don't hear, you only hear Laker, Kobe and Shaquille Lakers. And then it's like, oh, Kobe won those last titles. Well, yeah, he did, but let's give a lot of credit to Ron Artest of the world. I mean, they really needed a guy like that. So I think those get a lot of credit on those championship teams to me.
Mm-hmm. And that was prime Lamar Odom. I mean, Lamar Odom.
Well, he was a problem.
Yeah,
he was a problem.
he was a matchup problem, definitely. So, pre-Kardashian. I don't know if somebody said that.
Hey, pre-curse.
Hey, anybody that gets into that Kardashian circle, it's a curse that goes on.
Shout out to D-Book. Hey, shout out to Booker, man.
Yeah, Booker got into the web now too. But Booker's a baller.
Yeah.
Devin Booker?
He is, though. He is.
Team.
Devin Booker's in that?
Yeah, he is. He did one of the Kardashians.
Oh, God.
Woo.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, let's get back to this NFL pick'em. We got OC, we got DeAnthony, we got Michael on here tonight. Late night with BS3, sponsored by Jay Hunter, motivational speaker.
Fellas.
See that down at the bottom there. Let's see. Interesting matchup here. Colts, Browns, and the funniest thing about this is both of these teams are 3-1. Like, I was not expecting the Browns to be 3-1. Not even expecting the Colts to be 3-1, but this is going to be a game it played in Cleveland. Phillip Rivers, the new quarterback in Indy. But I'm gonna lead towards the Browns. I think I'm not gonna say that they're truly. I'm not gonna say they're real, but I'm gonna say they're trending in the right direction. I think the Colts. I think the Colts are gonna lose. But OC, I'll go with you. Who you got?
I like them Browns too. I like their receivers. I like what they're doing down there. I think they are one of those teams that's up and coming. But Phillip Rivers, he needs one. Phillip Rivers needs one, and I liked how he played last week, and I liked how he played the week before that. And I think they go down and get one from the Browns.
Okay. All right, Michael.
I think I'm still. It's still a little bit early for me to really be convinced about the Cleveland Browns. I'm not 100% sold yet. Baker Mayfield, to me, when you have Landry and you have Odell, to me, your offense should be high power every single time you step out on that. And you got Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb in the back. So you are stacked on offense.
Right.
So to me, if they win against the Colts, then I would say, all right, now we have a team that we have to really pay attention to. And like the first game, I think they lost to the Ravens. I think it was like 30-6 or something like that. So when you get blown out by a team like the Ravens, that to me, you're not ready. But then the teams that they beat, the Bengals, the Washington, and Dallas. So to me, those really don't say to me you're a playoff contender, but you're playoff pushing. Like you're pushing for it, but you're not just that there. And I think if they beat the Colts this weekend, I think now you're really gonna see people saying, okay, these Browns might be for real. Like this might be the year when we actually see what this offense can really, really do.
Right. All right, DeAnthony, we talking about Colts and Browns.
I'm gonna tell you with the Browns. One thing that fascinated me, Odell looks like he's back to being explosive. I haven't seen that from Odell in quite some time. If he can step up and be explosive, Baker Mayfield, I don't know what Baker is. He's a starting quarterback in the league. He's a good quarterback. I guess he's around that 12 to 18 range if you want to talk about that second tier quarterback. But I think to me, I'm gonna take it a step different. I think their identity needs to be balanced. Run the ball with Chubb. Well, he might be still hurt, but as far as with the guys they got, run the ball and then pass and create a balance. I think when you overdo it and you just throw too much, the teams can see that. You have to have a balanced approach. I think if they can run and they be balanced with that pass attack, they will be tough to beat. But the thing is, can they balance that attack? They got so much talent, man. If they can get it together, I have to trust in them. They should win this game. I got them over Indy. All due respect to Rivers, but they should win this game. No cap. But this is a game they'll lose. This is so weird with them, man. It's hard to really get a gauge on this team, and I think that starts with the leadership, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. And I think this is a game that you should win if you want to consider yourself, the real deal. It's a game that you got to win. We got Deeds Oliver that just joined in. He says the Colts defense is real. I agree with you there. I've been talking about them on the podcast earlier. He says I'm picking Indy, and I can see it happening.
Yeah. That's not an upset, really. Yeah.
But I think the Browns. This is a statement game for the Browns. If you win this game, you can kind of move forward, trending in the right direction. Let's move on to. This is the Sunday night game. I'm a little disappointed in the NFL. They got Vikings Seahawks on the Sunday night game. Mm-hmm. Number one, you can't trust Cousins. I don't care what anybody says.
Nah, you can't.
You like in Seattle? I think Russell Wilson's about to light these boys up. I don't see anything. I don't see it may get close. I do like the Vikings defense. But no one has been able to stop Russell Wilson except New England in that Super Bowl, which that was that interception. But I got the Seahawks easy. Michael, we'll go with you first.
That should be a cakewalk for the Seahawks. I don't. I mean, but you brought up a good point with that Seahawks Super Bowl loss, which every day I think about it because Russell Wilson is one of my favorite players. They should have ran that ball. They could have had 2 chips, easy running. But I don't. Since Kirk Cousins, I don't trust that man. But you give him all. You give him all that money. You better do something. But I don't think he's gonna do too much against the Seahawks. I don't see too much. There's not really much I can say about that. I think that might be like a 40-14 game. Seahawks. Russell might even sit down the last 5 minutes or something, but I don't see much.
Geno Smith may get in there for a couple snaps. That's a bad game. Geno gets in. Geno gets a run. OC, we'll go with you. Who you got?
You like that?
Kirk Cousins yelling at the camera.
Seattle look like they're gonna just roll over that team, but it's another trap game because if Seattle don't play like they play, they can get beat too. But I'm going with Russell Wilson. I'm a Russell Wilson guy. Russell Wilson is gonna do it.
All right, D, you gonna give us some?
I got one little sentence. In Russ we trust. That's all I got.
It's a wrap. Now, this week of NFL is going to be interesting because we got 2 Monday night games And we got a Tuesday night game. The Titans are still making up from last week that they didn't have a game, and they got pushed again because they had more COVID tests. But Broncos, Patriots, we're not even going to talk about that one. That's going to be easy Patriots win. I think the more interesting one is Bills, Titans. Bills are 4-0. Titans are 3-0. I think the Bills are for real. Let's talk about that first. Bills, especially with Josh Allen. I didn't have a lot of trust in him, coming out. He was getting a lot more love than other quarterbacks, but he seems like the real deal. And then get him Stephon Diggs, I think was the best possible thing they could have done because he's got a real target at wide receiver. But in this game, I'm gonna go with the Bills. I got the Bills going 5-0. So, Michael, we'll go with you. What do you think about the Bills, and what do you think they're gonna win tomorrow?
The Bills. Who they play? Who the Bills play again?
They play the Titans.
Titans. Yeah, I'm going with the Bills on that one. Allen has been showing that he's MVP. Like, he's in the MVP conversation right now. He really has blossomed. Like with Tom Brady out of the that division, I think it's their division to win. I was hoping for the Patriots because I like Cam Newton, but I think the way that he has just like cultivated that team and the way that they're driving right now, I don't see them losing for a while. The way that they have this, he's just mastering the whole team right now. And yeah, I think he might be probably in the third voting right now for MVP. I think him, Russ, and even Aaron Rodgers, I can throw him in there for like the MVP season that they've been having to start the season. So I think that might be, unless Derrick Henry can show up.
Yeah, Derrick Henry goes off. Yeah,
in that Titan game because he went off in the playoffs this year. He went bananas in the playoffs. So but I think I'm gonna go with you with that one. I think the Bills win this one though. I think they have proven that they are a real legitimate team and they are a Super Bowl contending team. So I'm going with the Bills on this one.
Okay. OC, who you got?
I like the Bills too, but I like the Bills because of their defense. I like Josh Norman. I like how he could lock your receiver up, your number one up, or whoever they got over there on him, or who he following. I like defensive players like that, and the Bills. That what's the name was right. That's their division to win. That's their division to win. So yeah. I'm going with the Bills. I like that the defense.
Okay. All right. DeAnthony, who you got?
Yeah, I go Bills too. I like the quarterback. He showed a lot of promise when he was younger. Can throw the ball hard, can throw the ball long. Good defense, pretty solid at the corner position with that stud. So I like the Bills. It'll be interesting to see. I haven't seen a lot of the Bills. I want to really see them to see, are they serious? I've been hearing, a lot of people kind of saying Bills, but I need to really get down and study them to see if they're as serious as everybody making it out to be. But their quarterback is legit, man. He's been legit for a long time. Like, even going back last year, a lot of his issues was, to me, young mistakes, but he had the natural talent, man. He was always a talented quarterback, in my opinion.
Yeah. Let's talk about this other one, Chargers Saints. This is an interesting game because Drew Brees is showing his age. Father Time is undefeated, and he said this is his last year. So, who knows what happens? And you got Jameis in the wings, hopefully, and then you got Herbert. Herbert has been balling. He went into a shootout with Tom Brady, and Tyrod Taylor. They said it's Herbert's job now, so it's no longer Tyrod Taylor's job, which you know how that is. But I think playing in New Orleans, I got the Saints winning. I think Alvin Kamara is going to be hard to stop, and I think Drew Brees is going to get his. He's going to get 1 to 2 touchdowns. He's going to be able to get those passes in there. So I'm gonna go Saints in a close one. This is the first or the second Monday Night Football game, and it's playing in New Orleans. So who you got, OC? I'll go with you.
I think I like the Saints too. I like the Saints too, but I've been watching that football show where they go inside your football team for the preseason.
Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks, and the Chargers. I like some of the Chargers players, but they're not ready. They're not ready. Drew Brees and Alvin Kamara.
Nah, they really not.
Alvin Kamara and them, they ready. You know, Alvin Kamara with that shiny grill he got. He gonna be showing it a lot. So get ready for that. Saints.
Okay. Who you got, D?
Saints, no question about it. Saints easy, Saints big, Saints all day. Let me say this though. That kid Herbert, Tyrod, kiss that position goodbye. It's a wrap. He's not getting that position back. And I'm gonna tell you something. No, I have to say something. I'm as black as they get, man. And when it comes to Black history, I love our people. I never got this idea that Tyrod Taylor was a starting quarterback in the NFL. I mean, you cannot win with a guy like that. You gotta throw the ball, man. He's gone. I just want to say that Herbert got this position. I'm surprised because that kid got a little specialness in him. I seen it at Oregon, but I also seen him throw a lot of picks. But I just want to say that I got them losing, but they got their quarterback now, and Tyrod's not getting that position back, I don't think.
Yep. I'm agreeing with you. And Anthony Lynn, even the press conference after that freak accident that happened to Tyrod Taylor, I don't even know if you want to call that an accident, but after that happened, he said it's Tyrod Taylor's job still. But the way Herbert's been playing, you can't take the keys away from him until he makes a major mistake. But Michael, we'll go to you.
I think I'm gonna go with an upset. I think the reason why I'm going with the Chargers because is Michael Thomas playing this weekend? I mean Monday.
He's questionable. No, doubtful. I think right? Questionable or doubtful. One of the two.
I think Drew Brees,
yep.
I was saying Drew Brees has been showing his age a lot lately, and it seems as if he can't be the Drew Brees that we used to seeing unless Michael Thompson's out there. True. I mean, even with Emmanuel Sanders, I don't understand how you got Alvin Kamara. I don't see how you're not still explosive. Like you still have on your offense, you have plethora of offensive weapons to go through, and for you to just feel like you fell apart. But yes, he's your number one target, but you have other Sanders can go to any other team and be a number one receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that is no excuse for the way that you're playing, unless you're just showing to us that, hey, it's that time, Father Time waits on nobody. You can't beat Father Time. So to me, Herbert, he has the job, but I don't want to take it away from Tyrod because it's not his fault, because that doctor should be fired for puncturing that man's lungs. And to me, that's where, right now, I think that's where the coach is going right now. I think it's one of those things. It's more nervous of not knowing how fully recovered Tyrod is at this point. Because, I mean, your lungs is something, if you get a crack rib, boom, there you go. So to me, it's one of those things. But I'm going with the upset. I think it's going to be one of those games where Drew Brees is going to be lackadaisical, where his ball just doesn't seem like it's on target anymore. Like he's overthrowing, he's underthrowing, he's not dropping those dimes that we're used to seeing. Drew Brees was that quarterback where you don't even have to be open. He's going to make you open. Right. And I haven't seen that out of Drew Brees this season. I haven't seen that Drew Brees that I'm like, okay, this man is a different animal. I don't see that. And it's the same thing to me with Tom Brady. I think people are overhyping the Bucks, but that's another topic. But
it's true. Hey, from now on, we gonna call this the Peyton Manning effect. Because when Peyton Manning, when he fell off that cliff, it was like drastic. He looked drastic.
Yeah, it was.
He was skipping passes. I was like, who is?
He couldn't even throw the ball. Yeah.
No, he can throw the ball, and it's gonna hit you at some point in time. It hit Drew Brees early this season.
Let me say this point real quick about Drew Brees not having Thomas, and I agree. But I think to OC's point, this is a game where if you're Kamara, this is a game where you put your foot on the gas and you put your imprint, because he's just talented enough to win a game by himself as far as out the backfield rushing. This is a game where I expect him to have a huge game. If this is the type of game where he has to take over. Drew can get it done, but like you said, without Thomas, his statistics drop. So I would go right to Kamara and say, hey, we're going to you in the pass game and in the run game. Put your imprint on this game. And then man, I respect Tyrod Taylor, man. But I'm gonna tell you, you can't win a championship with a quarterback like that, man. Nobody wants to say it, but you can't. It's cute. It'll get you 8 or 9 wins. But if I'm a team, I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing. Throw the freaking rookie out there and let's see what we got. Because I know when this other guy, I'm gonna get 8 wins. I need to see what the rookie got. So I just want to say that too. And this is nothing personal against Tyrod. I just think, to win, you need a better quarterback.
Or at the end of the day, go ahead.
Let me ask a question. So D, when you say a quarterback like that, are you talking about the running quarterback?
Yeah, I'm talking about a quarterback. He's a good quarterback, but can he throw the ball to beat you? You know what I'm saying? And I watch Tyrod Taylor, man. But I just don't get it. I don't trust him to win the big games. I'm just being honest, man. And that's just where it's at with his arms specifically.
All right. I mean, but the reason why I say that, because if you look, I mean, I'm not comparing him to Lamar. Lamar's a different animal.
No, but see, no, that's a bigger point. Have Lamar won in the playoffs?
Right, but that's what I'm gonna go at too. I think Lamar to me, he's like what Peyton Manning when Peyton first came, because we didn't see Peyton Manning didn't hit that peak until like Facts. 9 years after. Like he was struggling. He was doing great. He was like the statistically best regular season quarterback. And then playoff came, he wasn't that, like how people want to give Paul George playoff P. He wasn't playoff P for a while. Mm-hmm. So, and I think Tyrod hasn't really been in that position where you had an offense around him and say, go win us that game. So I think he's just always been in a bad position. Like when he was with Cleveland, it was just a bad position for him. He never really had like the team fully behind him. Like he knew, like, all right, well, you're just the Band-Aid for now. Sooner or later, we're gonna rip you off. You're just here to hold up whatever we need. So I don't think he's ever gotten that chance to say, we're gonna give you the keys. This is your car. Drive the hell out of it. And I think that's where he is never really given that opportunity to go out there and mess up and have a coach come behind and say, all right, this is what we need to develop. And this is what we need to, this is the offense that we need to put around you to make it work. Because I think that's what the Baltimore has done with Lamar, because you see Lamar will have those games where his arms is like nowhere to be found, but you put him in a scheme where his legs is going to dictate the game. Is like you can't do nothing about it. And the man runs like with a 4.1, 4.2. Like you can't do nothing with speed like that. You can't. And I think Taylor has that same. Like he's not as fast as Lamar, but his craftiness gives you that, that advantage. But I understand your point. I mean, put the rookie out there and let him do what he got to do.
And see, I totally agree. You haven't had a system where you built it around Tyrod. I'll say this though. Even when you say that, I think you build around Lamar because he's such a dynamic talent. To me, what is building around Tyrod looks like? Like, seriously, does that look like 8 wins, 10 wins? We see what building around Lamar looks like. That looks like a lot of wins. So, to me, the talent level, even within them two, is so different. But I totally agree. And that's the big thing with black quarterbacks anyway. If you don't conform to the traditional standard, drop back 50 times, they don't work around you. That's why I give Baltimore a lot of credit for working their system around Lamar. I agree with you. Yep.
Yeah. I got 2 points I want to bring up. I think I agree with you, Michael, is that Tyrod's never had a system built around him. I don't think he's ever had a coach to really help him at all. Every single team he's been on, it's been a Band-Aid. It's been like, hey, we're going to put you here, but just know this isn't really your job. Like, I don't know if they said that, but it was almost implied every single time he was somewhere. And then I think the fact is when you draft Herbert, he was drafted in the first round, I believe. I don't know where exactly. But when you draft a guy in the first round, the plan is not to sit this guy the whole season. So, unfortunately, the mistake injury that happened to Tyrod, which maybe that, I'm sometimes.
What you say, B? What you say? They conspired.
who gets their lung pierced on the sideline? To me, that's just the craziest thing.
Oh my
but
gosh!
you just got to know that Hibbert was going to get in there sooner or later. Like,
right.
This is another situation where Tyrod is not going to be in the best position. The same thing with Tua. I've said this before. Tua is going to play before the season's over with. Just because
man.
You can't have Fitzpatrick out there for too long because eventually the magic is going to wear out and the dust is going to fade, and then Tua can be waiting. So that's the two things I wanted to bring up. Also, we got a comment from Deeds. He said, but he only needs one ring to solidify his career. I think he's talking about Lamar. Lamar,
he's okay. Yeah, Lamar's okay. He's so young.
It puts so much pressure on Lamar. It's only his second year.
Let me ask you guys this real quick. Have y'all? It's fascinating, man. Do y'all remember when Tebow had his little heyday versus Lamar? The talent, the skills, it was night and day. But it seemed like Tebow kept getting chance after chance. He's going to get there. Why is it so much? It's so much animosity against Lamar. Like, some people want him to fail. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think when you have somebody like Patrick Mahomes, I think people want to compare and contrast, even though it's like apples to oranges. You can't really compare the two. They're different breeds. They're different talent. Like Patrick is flashy with his passes. Like he's like Aaron Rodgers' second coming, but like on steroids. Like his game just like went above Aaron Rodgers. But when Aaron Rodgers came in, it was like, yo, this is the greatest shit since sliced bread. It was like, oh yeah, like, what is this? And I think that's what it was with Lamar Odom. They was trying to compare him and Patrick Mahomes. Like you can't compare the two. They're two different place skill set. They're gonna beat you differently. And I think I don't think Lamar necessarily has to beat you with his arms. I think he just has to do enough to finish you off with his legs. If he can start off, like if he give you a good 2 touchdown passes here and there, and then you're like, all right, I don't know if he's going to pass or run. What is he going to do? Mm-hmm. Then you're going to be like, all right, I don't know how to play this man. I don't know what kind of defense. Am I going to zone him? Am I going to man? So I think that's really what it is. When you have somebody like Patrick Mahomes who's just doing like ridiculous things on any given day.
With a better coach too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
OC, what you got to say about Lamar, Tyrod, kind of what we've been talking about?
Yeah, I agree. But Tyrod, he's always to me been a backup.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. I'm a realist, bro. I'm a realist. Like
anything else. but seriously, sometimes that's what quarterbacks are. That's what quarterbacks are. You could be a good backup. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You're not the starting dude. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because everywhere he's gone, they haven't taken him serious.
So there got to be a reason.
And they got to be a reason. Whatever that reason is, that's just what it is. But Lamar is on a big stage because he's not only with that Baltimore Raven team, his coach, who his coach is, his coach is the brother, the Harbaugh brother.
Harbaugh, yeah.
Yeah, the Harbaugh brother. So he on a big stage. Everybody always looking at him like that. So in reference to the Tebow thing, we all know what that was. We all know. I don't have to even say what that was about Tebow.
Okay. I'm just being messy. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
we all know what that was. I mean, he was a talented college player, and then he came into the NFL, and they didn't have a space for him, and he didn't want to change his position.
Right.
But Lamar is a quarterback.
Exactly.
Lamar is a great quarterback. He's nothing else. He's not going to be anything else. So that's the difference. I think that's the difference. That's the difference between all of that.
I agree. So the last topic I want to get to before we get out of here: fantasy football. Is anybody playing fantasy football this year?
I'm not even playing this year.
I played it. I played it years, man, but not this year.
I'm not playing this year.
Just to say, if anybody watching, like your fantasy football team is wrecked. Injuries, COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even tell what. I don't even know what games I should be. What games this week? Like it's Tuesday. Tuesday part of next week. I mean, this one of the craziest seasons. But you got to understand this is unprecedented times, and none of us have experienced, players, coaches, anybody. So I wanted to get that in there, see if you guys are playing, if you play DraftKings or anything like that. But it's crazy type of year.
Let me say this: I haven't played fantasy in about a year or two. I started playing fantasy football. I was about 13 years old. This was about 10 years ago, if not longer. Probably longer than 10 years, but I want to hit it on a point real quick, Ben. Back to Lamar just for a real quick second. I think one thing that nobody's talking about with Lamar is the experience. Once he gets experience with that playbook, it's going to be a route. So he's going to be fine. I just want to get that out of the way to say, once he gets to the point where he gets to that line, can you guys imagine when he gets to that line and he's calling his own plays like Russell? It's a route, man. So it's only a matter of time for he take off. I just wanted to interject that real quick because I think everybody's rushing him, man. It's his second year. And I don't know. I just wanted to interject. Wait till this guy gets that grasp of that playbook in the back of his head where he can, okay, I see a blitz. I'm changing this whole system. I'm changing this whole game up, this whole play up. Like, when he gets to that level, man, he's going to be something we've never seen from a mental standpoint when he gets there. I just want to interject that really quick.
True. Yeah, this is his third year. You won the MVP 2019. I mean, like, what do you expect? But I think to Michael's point, when you see Russell Wilson is the standard. So whenever you see a black quarterback come in and you see he has similar skills, immediately they're like, oh, is this the next Russell? Or Russell's doing this, so why can't you do this? And then I think Patrick Mahomes is just on a whole nother level. He's a mixture of Russell, Vic, like all of that all together, throwing sidearm passes and all that. So I just think we gotta allow these guys to develop, raise them as they go along, but don't expect them to win the Super Bowl his first or second year.
Yeah. And then back to your question now about fantasy, man. I'll go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I think OC about to say something.
Oh no, I'm just listening, man. He making great points about leaving Lamar alone, let him do his thing until he get that experience under his belt. That's all I think. Yep.
Go ahead.
And fantasy football is hard to do right now because look at all the injuries that's all.
You don't know who playing.
All around the NFL. It's just terrible. We could just pick one team out and say the San Francisco 49ers the first week. Who watching?
Yeah, nah, for real.
Mozart and Jimmy Garoppolo all went out same time.
It's hard to have a fantasy team right now, man. But when they didn't have preseason, that's when I realized that you can't have a fantasy team because you don't know who's gonna be there. Because as soon as I think it was the Giants, no, not the Giants, the 49ers. But I think like 7 of their players went down in like week 2, and I'm like, holy hell, like what's going on? Like it was dropping like flies. I'm like, all right, there's no reason. I mean, there's no way you can have a fantasy team. There's no way. So yeah, this year with the whole COVID situation and the no preseason, I think that kind of just threw everybody to a loop because I think preseason is needed. You need that to assess you and to get your body ready to throw you in there right away. Because the NFL is not like the NBA where you have 82 games where you can mess up in the first half and come back. This is the NFL where you have to come out swinging. Like the Cowboys, everybody had them being like a championship contender, but that's every year with the Cowboys. I don't know what.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan. We are naive. I'll go ahead and say it. But I'm one of the most honest ones. This season's not gonna go well. I'm gonna just be straight up.
Listen, if I'm a Giants fan, if y'all lose to us, y'all might as well just wrap it up.
You might as well pack it up.
Ben, we didn't ask Mike about his thoughts on he wasn't on yet. We talked about Washington, man.
Oh, talking about did you hear what happened to Dwayne Haskins? He got the most third string.
Oh, yeah, I knew that was coming. When Ron Rivera came in, it's like one of those situations where somebody gives you a car and you're like, I thank you for the car, but it's not the car I want, but I appreciate it. And that's really what it is with Haskins. Like, yeah, I appreciate it.
That's a good point.
I didn't pick this guy, so I'm not here to groom him and help him develop. I'm just here. When I get my guy on the league, then it's going to be a different scenario. So to me, it was Haskins had to be playing phenomenal football for Ron to be like, I'm gonna keep you in, but he wasn't, and it's not his fault. He only played 11 games in college.
Mm-hmm.
So to come out from only playing 11 games in college and expect him to automatically be the starting quarterback, he needs that 1 year of just developing. So to me, it was bound to happen. I wasn't surprised because Ron was making like hints like, yo, this ain't my quarterback. Like
He was. Bro, see, to me, that's so weird. I've never seen a coach come out and almost down talk the young quarterback. I'm telling you, this Washington thing is so weird to me, but we should respect it, I guess.
You shouldn't be surprised. It's Washington. Like, I mean, what do you?
I mean, they don't got no name
since Doug Williams.
Name.
Mm-hmm.
How long ago was that?
For real.
The fact is, you know, they bring in Ron thinking that he could save. Thinking he could be the savior and save this team. I don't think so. And then I guess they're gonna trade Haskins. If you're the motor guy, the third string, to me that means
Wow.
you're on the trade block. And then they said
your second year quarterback.
Yeah.
Wow.
they said Alex Smith is gonna be the backup. This dude is still
It's
looking
personal.
around. What if he has to-
It's personal. It's personal at this point. And I hate when stuff get personal, but this is personal, and I wonder if this is gonna divide this team.
It very well could.
It can if it all. I mean, it all depends. I mean, winning cure everything. So if they start to win, then it's like, all right. But if they start to lose, and it's like, yo, you might as well would have left a young kid in there for him to develop.
Mm-hmm.
You don't develop by sitting on the bench. You know, you have to throw him out there and say, hey, let's work with him and see what schemes we can put in. Let's see your talent. Let's see what kind of skill set you have so we can know how to build around you. But it's one of those things where if they start to win, which I don't expect, but if they start to win, then it's like, all right, maybe Ron.
Just say nah.
Anyway, it's going to continue to be funky. Be funky around there. They don't got enough deodorant. They don't got enough deodorant to put on.
Nah, they don't. They don't. Say, you know, organization bad. Hey, you know they don't lost they running back of the future and they quarterback in the same year. Goose and him.
on purpose.
Washington
On purpose.
The whole NFC East is washed, man. It's they just need to take that division and just throw it away for this year and say come back next year. You know, but
that's why we call it the NFC least, because all of it is garbage. Every last one of them teams. Look, it's at the end of the day, it's going to be between the Cowboys and the Eagles. Going to be the de facto winner, but none of them are. Neither one of them are going to do anything in the playoffs.
That's true. Don't sleep on Wentz, though. You know, I know I sound like a nut with this Carson Wentz stuff, man, but I still think Wentz is a really good quarterback.
I think he was a little overrated. Now
I feel the same.
He led his team to the he led his team to the playoffs because he got hurt. I think that last game, and then Foles took him there. But I think they looked at that 1 year and they were like, okay, let's throw the bank at this kid. Which, not saying that he can't be that guy, he can't be great, but this season is not looking good. So he's gonna need to redeem himself real quick.
Oh yeah, he has
let me ask you this, Ben. So is Dak Prescott better than him to you?
I would say yes. Skills wise,
okay.
Now Dak is not the best passer, precision, accuracy. This year so far, he's been putting passes on the money, obviously because he's had to because they've been down. But I would take Dak. I would take Dak over Wentz. I mean, all day.
I think Dak has proven himself. I think Dak has done that. He has proven himself. Carson Wentz, to me, he had, like you said before earlier, Ben, he had that great season, and automatically people want to say, here comes the second coming. It's like, but then it's like, then you become injury prone after injury after injury. Then it's like, all right, we don't know what to expect from you. But Dak to me, he's a stabilizer. He's a quarterback. You know what you're going to get And sometimes you don't know what to expect being a positive thing, because someday he might just be even keel. He's going to give you 200 plus yards passing and 50 yards running. And then the next game, he might give you 500 yard passing. So that, to me, he's a steady quarterback that you know what you're going to get. He doesn't get injured. He's always on time. He's always prepared. So to me, he's better as far as that mentality. But skill set, I think Wentz might have better skills. But when you steady getting hurt, that's kind of pointless. If you have the skills and you can't be on the field, it's kind of pointless.
Yeah.
Both of them. I'll say this: both of them haven't showed up in the playoffs, and both of them need to. I think with Dak has won a playoff game, right? Ben,
he won one. I think he won one last year. With
he needs to advance. That's his next step: advance and get a playoff victory. Let's strip away this Super Bowl or bust. The Cowboys not going. Can he win a playoff game or two? That's right now. That's the big question.
Can he win two? He's already won one, so can he win two?
Let the goal.
Man, Courtney says Wentz is still talented. He has a depleted team with five stringers, and he may do it again.
Hey, I'm right there with you, Courtney. It's Wentz. It's so weird, man. He's a good player, but just like Dak, I need to see him do it in the playoffs. But man, I've seen Wentz make some throws that I said, "Wow." So maybe I'm just enamored with his talent.
Yeah, and I think that's good. The talent, but the thing is, always the talent can only get you so far. At some point, you're gonna need that next notch, that it factor, that thing we don't know what it is, that heart or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
and I think both of them got to prove it. And if Dak can win two playoff games, he's won one. But yeah, Super Bowl or bust. Cowboys need to get off of that. All of us as Cowboys fans need to be realistic and look in the mirror.
Our defense sucks, man.
Yeah,
nope,
garbage. So yeah, we the playoffs is where it's all going to count. But man, great conversation tonight. We're about to get out of here. I want each of you guys to just talk about what you have going on. I know Michael, I think you have a YouTube channel. OC, talk about your podcast and what you have coming up this week.
Just a lot of working behind the scenes, trying to get all my stuff protected, because you got to have protections on your stuff. People stealing your ideas and stuff like that. That's what I'm working on. But I'm always putting out a new show. Talking with OC. It's a podcast about what organic conversations between people, just having good conversation, good fun. That's Talking with OC. It's on Anchor.fm. It's on where is it at? It's on iPad. Excuse me, I can't even talk right now. It's on iPhone podcast. It's on
Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, iHeartRadio. It's on all the different podcast outlets. And it's just a fun show. So go check it out. And I really appreciate you for letting me on with you guys to have this good sports discussion. Man, I hopefully I can come back, or hopefully I can have one of y'all or something on my show, and we can have a great conversation on there.
Definitely. Yeah, we'll definitely do it again. Definitely, I'm down to come on yours too. Michael.
Yeah, man. So obviously you see my shirt. That's the name of my YouTube channel. It's called Yard Vibes TV. And I also do podcasts also. It's also called Yard Vibes TV. It's on I use the Anchor as well. It's on all the major platforms. I'm from Jamaica originally, so I have this this t-shirt thing that I'm trying to promote right now. It's called Island Leaders, where basically we are trying to enlighten people on fallen heroes that a lot of people don't know of. Being from Jamaica, like Marcus Garvey was a big influence on my life coming up. Obviously Bob Marley. I used to, go to church with his children back when I was younger. So, that's what I'm doing right now, trying to promote this, the t-shirt. It's up and running. I'll send you guys a link. But yeah, man, I enjoy this podcast that you guys had me on. Hopefully I can come back, and hopefully when I have mine up, you guys can come join, because I like the camaraderie here, man. The energy, the vibes is real nice. So I appreciate you guys inviting me, man.
Definitely, and put your link in this thread right here on Facebook so people can get it. Everybody can check it out. And then D, what you got coming up? I know you've been doing the high school games, which is big in Texas.
Oh man, big in Texas, man. If y'all are on Instagram or Ben, if you know their Instagrams, because that's where I'm on. I don't use Facebook. Send me you guys Instagram pages or YouTube pages, so I can follow you and vice versa. Man, I'm big into Black history and culture. So if you guys check out my Instagram, I talk a lot about that. I'm into books, but this week, I'm supposed to film a volleyball game on Tuesday, high school volleyball. I haven't heard word from that. So between that, sports, learning, spiritual walk, just trying to balance this thing on out, man. And like the other guy said, I appreciate the camaraderie, the fellowship. We talk about sports, and this sports is a lot of things, but I think this is needed. Like even above sports, like just the camaraderie, the laughing, the joking, the cracking jokes, this really needed, man, in this time. So I think I appreciate that from a perspective that's even outside of sports, but more so from a fellowship perspective. So I appreciate Ben for having me on, as always, been on quite a few times. And man, let's keep this thing going. And besides doing a little filming, in the books, into teaching our people consciousness, waking up to who we are as Black people. That's pretty much it, brother.
Yeah, definitely. And I love doing this, man. I love the sports kind of roundtable. I love cracking jokes. It was definitely a good vibe. And definitely I'll have you guys on again. I do this every Saturday night, unless I got something going on. We'll be doing a post-game show tomorrow night. So if any of you guys are free, send me a message. It'll be game 6. Hopefully this will be the Lakers championship show, because I'm ready for it to do that show, because I think that'll be dope. I thought it was going to be last week, but obviously the Heat said something different. So we'll be back tomorrow night right here on the same links, same channel. So OC, thank you for coming on.
All right.
Peace, Mike. OC, Mike.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys.
Okay, brother Ben, take care, man. God bless.
All right.
Good night.
All right, peace.
Stay blessed, man.